Next up, I wanted to discuss the concept of infinite limits at infinity. Now, we've already covered what it means to have an infinite limit. It means that y is either approaching plus or minus infinity. And when we say at infinity, we're saying that x is approaching plus or minus infinity. Now, graphically speaking, an infinite limit at infinity is also sometimes known as the end behavior of a function. So this lets us know as x starts getting really, really big, does it go high up? Does it go down low? And as x gets really, really big in the negative direction, does it go up or does it go down? Now, back in pre-calculus, we had some methods of determining what end behavior was, but now that we have access to more sophisticated techniques, I wanted to talk about some of those. So for example, I wanted to consider the limit as x approaches positive infinity of x minus x squared. Now obviously we can't really plug in infinity to a situation like this, but if we could use the direct substitution property, x goes to infinity, that would be infinity, and as x goes to infinity, x squared would be infinity as well. So we have a situation of infinity minus infinity, which is one of our indeterminate forms. But when it comes to a polynomial, one thing that you can do is factor the polynomial. When we have infinity minus infinity, this is an indeterminate form, but when we have infinity times infinity, it is not. So with that in mind, I can factor out a greatest common factor of x and be left with 1 minus x. Then if I were to attempt to use the direct substitution property in this situation, I would be multiplying positive infinity times 1 minus positive infinity. That would be negative infinity. Again, infinity times infinity is not an indeterminate form, but since we do have positive times negative, this would be considered negative infinity. A similar argument could be made if x were approaching negative infinity as well. Outside of this, the majority of the infinite limits at infinity are fairly intuitive. It's only if you come up with something indeterminate that you can't figure out what it's equal to.